Okay. Please have a seat so we can continue with the next presentation. And I'm very excited to present and read the bio of our next student presenting for the last day of the culminating experience. Her name is Zahili Zamora. If I can have your attention for a second, thank you. Thank you. Zahili Zamora is a pianist, composer, arranger, and educator from Manzanillo, Cuba. She currently holds a BM from Berklee College of Music and is assistant professor in the piano department here at Berklee. A two-time Boston Music Award nominee, her extensive career path renders her a leader in the modern Latin jazz idiom. The presentation title is Music Performance Anxiety, a personal view on the condition, and we are very glad to welcome here with us our committee member, Chase Mooring, and Ms. Bridget Keller, as well as her advisor, Patrizia Sarater. For the three of us, please have a warm applause for them. Thank you for being with us. Patrizia, thank you. Chase. And please welcome on stage, Zahili Zamora.
I don't see anybody, but I trust that you are all there. Okay, getting started.
Recuerdo un despertar mientras me ahogaba en una incertidumbre eterna. Recuerdo el pesar provocado por preguntas sin respuestas. Recuerdo haber librado 1000 batallas, todas a ciegas. Y recuerdo los miedos que habitaban mi conciencia y que me paralizaban cual agua que hiela. Y en esa travesía conocí a una niña, la niña que un día fui, la niña que espera, la niña parada en el tiempo, con llanto y con pena.
Hello, everyone. My name is Zahili Zamora. I am a pianist, composer, and educator, and I'm here today to present my culminating experience project based on a personal view of music performance anxiety. The purpose of my CE is to heighten awareness of the condition as a mental health issue, which affects a wide variety of individuals regardless of age, gender, music genre, cultural background, years of experience, and or technical abilities. The composition that you just heard It's about the struggles I was going through way before I discovered that I was suffering from MPA. Rumination is the beginning of a journey that started during the pandemic. As we all know, the whole world was upside down and many musicians, including myself, lost gigs. But in the midst of it all, I had a sense of relief because I knew that I didn't have to play. And I knew there was something wrong with that feeling, but I didn't know what to make out of it. I had also reached a plateau in my playing that caused me to question my purpose in life and as an artist and as an individual. I was ruminating a lot, and this in turn led me to seek out the help of a counselor. Now, fast forward from that time in seeking the help of a counselor, I started a process of trying to understand my past and facing all fears. And finally, I came face to face with music performance anxiety. In my research of the psychology of music performance anxiety from the book by Diana Kenny, she describes it in this way. Music performance anxiety is the experience of marked and persistent anxious apprehension related to musical performance. It includes biological and/or psychological vulnerabilities, as well as specific anxiety conditioning experiences. It is manifested through a combination of cognitive, somatic, and behavioral symptoms. It's usually more severe in settings involving fear of failure and evaluative threat, such like an audience. It affects musicians across the lifespan, and it is at least partially independent of years of training, practice, and level of musical accomplishment. All of those discoveries, coupled with my counseling, inspired my upcoming composition, which you'll hear now, which is Blissful Sorrow. But Blissful Sorrow also came together to repurpose what was previously destructive into not only a composition that I now love, but also a different way for me to carry my story. And as the music plays, you'll see some of the discoveries I made from a psychological point of view. Alongside all of those discoveries came the inspiration for my third composition. It was inspired by the action of uncovering even more layers related to my personal version of MPA, and it was meant to challenge my abilities as a composer for solo piano. This one comes close to familiar territory for me because I am using the consistent bass line ostinato on the left hand, which is typical of Cuban music, and there's a contrapuntal approach taken from my studies of Bach at the conservatory in Cuba. But to accurately represent what I was taking away from reading Kenny, from counseling sessions, and from new compositional techniques, I continue to use tetrachords, constant structures via tritones, wider intervals through the entire range of the piano, contrary motion lines and harmonies, melodic patterns based on a 12-tone system, and comprovisation without a tonal center. Here is for all of you digging. All right, so my last composition, thank you. Negra actually was the beginning of my creative process, getting ready for this culminating experience, and it is inspired in one of the many conversations I had with my advisor, Professor Patricia Zarate, who opened my eyes to the fact that MPA has a number of psychosocial stressors, among them race and cultural background. Also from the book, Diana Kenny describes a form of vulnerability called generalized psychological vulnerability based on early experiences. And it explains growing up in an environment in which the expectations for excellence are high, but the support is low. I happen to have unpleasant memories of pressures I had to endure as a child regarding racial and cultural taboos imposed by family and society. But with Negra, I'm just finally saying it's enough. This is my identity, this is who I am, and today I'm here to stand up for myself and others, to take action against racial issues, and to embrace the color of my skin, the shape of my hair, and the beauty of my African heritage. I'm also coming to terms with my music performance anxiety and feeling more confident in the new tools and skills I have acquired through counseling and research. And I'll share some of those as the music plays. Here's the amazing resource that has helped me this whole time, Diana Kenny, The Psychology of Music Performance Anxiety. Now, for future plans, this research has provided me with the necessary tools to propose a program for Berklee College of Music targeting the debilitating effects of music performance anxiety. This course could bring together a small group of piano players who would discuss their experiences relative to the potential underlying causes of the condition, and who would explore various solutions in the context of performing in real time for each other. The course content could include discussing the following challenges: the burden of expectations placed on self or others, the realities and impact of a competitive music scene, and psychosocial matters relative to race, gender, and the environment. The emphasis of this group will be fully experiential, exploring real-time problems and finding real-time solutions, ideally in collaboration with a professional coach or counselor. The idea of an MPA retreat is not far from achievable, and aside from that, I just continue to play the music and advocating for mental health issues. So I want to thank Sheila Del Bosque, Charlotte Lang, Daniel Ian Smith, Peter Sumner, Takehumi Nikaido, Ian Ashby, and Julian Miltonberger. Recording engineer and partner, Gerson Lasso Quiroga. My panelists, Bridget Keller and Chase Morin. My advisor, Patricia Zarate. And my mentors, Maestro Danilo Perez, Alay Malé, and Marco Piñataro. I just want you all to know that without your support and trust, this moment right here would not have been possible. So thank you so much.
Beautiful day, wonderful. And we're gonna open now for comments and questions from the panel. And I'm gonna start with your committee member, Miss Bridget Keller. Welcome, Miss Keller. Here's the microphone.
Hello, my name is Bridget Keller, and I'm an excellence coach, and I work with people of exceptional ability, helping them figure out how to do that differently. I made the mistake of not bringing tissues, and I want to thank you for what you helped me feel. Don't be bothered by my crying. So, following on what Julian said in his thing about finding your voice, and you have worked so hard on your project, which is about shifting from having a role to being a human and deciding how you identify yourself. And it's been a privilege to walk with you in that, alongside of you as you do that. And in particular, I was thinking about, that it requires being able to appropriately and adequately listen to, code, and direct the voices in your own head to be able to discern what belongs and what doesn't, what you keep and what you give away. And you have done an excellent job for your own personal story and in your musical story of the way that you sort out those voices in your head in favor of the more life-affirming sounds over the non-life-affirming sounds. And I'm also appreciating that, again, in how you help me feel. I'm appreciating how you have recovered your voice, starting from, Carol Gilligan talks about how the crime for young girls is at around the age of 12, 13 that they lose their voice. And I know that has particular resonance for you about that time. And being able to recover that voice and think that you have a right to use it in the world. And as a woman of an older generation, watching you as a younger woman be able to use your voice so assertively and efficiently to send a message of what's possible. Again, thank you for what you helped me feel.
Thank you for being with me. Thanks.
Wait, let me say one more thing. I really appreciate how you made the distinction between, in sorting out those voices, honoring all the parts of you, the initial you and the cultural you and what you wanted to bring from other places versus obeying and complying. And I loved that line because it's so consistent with what we did about the little girl that was waiting for me. And it was so fun to watch you learn how to do fun differently from a grown-up perspective with you and your instrument and your music. I'm just so in awe of what you have done with this project, the hard work that you have done. And I'm really appreciating that thing you said about it's not the way you're carrying your story differently. And it's, again, thank you for how you helped me feel.
Thank you, Ms. Gallery. Thank you. Maestro Chase?
Zahili, thank you for this such a beautiful, honest, vulnerable presentation and this killing music that you're presenting to all of us because it's astonishing, it's incredible. Quick question, can you share with everybody about your solo piano concert that you just happened?
Okay. Okay.
It's okay.
I can do this. Yeah, I was given the opportunity to do a solo piano concert, and I avoided the idea many times and tried to do maybe like a duo or a trio. I was like, I want to bring another person with me because I just feel protected that way. But they were like, no, we just want you. So I said, I saw it as a sign, and even the timing, I thought it was perfect because it was this past Saturday. And I said yes, and I decided to put in practice some of the concepts I was already learning with Bridget and reading the book and doing, the beautiful experience of being at the Global. But the last time I did a piano concert was when I was 14, and it was not pleasant. So from 14 to being a 43-year-old woman, going through that process, it happened, and it was beautiful. People welcomed me graciously. I was able to use these tools of meditation and just self-assurance more than anything. That's something that I was not used to from the people I had around me, but even for myself, that's something I learned, to self-assure myself and to trust that I can do it. And I was still nervous, and there were still mistakes here and there, but I was more confident in my abilities, and it felt pretty amazing to be able to do a 1-hour solo concert of classical music. So, thanks.
Wow, I'm just so proud of you. It's incredible. And I think that what I'm so grateful for you is that your inward search and this whole journey means that you're going to be able to help your piano students so much more deeply, and we need that nowadays because you're not alone in this. Yeah. So I'm just, that makes me feel like there's hope. It's fantastic. And just the music. I mean, it's so strong. It's so personal. Your pieces. I can imagine you publishing some of these scores, making etudes, something like that.
Etudes,
something to consider because it's amazing, this repertoire, and you actually have something to offer the classical world in terms of the literature. And you didn't even go into that, but you really have something special to offer that in terms of the music, and just once again, so this year has been so beautiful, and you just brought light to every single room, and thank you.
Thank you.
Maestra Patricia.
Wow, Zahili, congratulations. It has been, okay, I don't want to cry. 2 people cried already. It has been a pleasure working with you. You are amazing. I told you at some point when I found out that you were married to Gerson, I said, Gerson is lucky. And then I told Gerson, you are lucky to be married to her, to spend your life, with her, because, you are amazing. I mean, you bring light. You are such a beautiful person inside out, so incredibly talented. And it has been a pleasure working with you. One of the biggest pleasures of being here at the Institute as a teacher. I want to ask you something. How could will you incorporate more of the piano Cuban tumbao in your music later in life? And do you think you did not necessarily included it enough right now because it may be related to the performance anxiety?
That's a great question. I don't think so. In my trajectory, I started strongly in the classical world, and I went straight from classical music into performing popular Cuban music. But my role in the band was not the role of the piano player. It was the role of the keyboardist who played the string lines and the horns, which was an easy transition for me because I just had to sight read and that was it. So I would say as a Cuban musician and a Cuban pianist, the role of a Cuban pianist has come sort of later in life. And in the midst of all that, I found other styles of music that I've fallen in love at the same level. So it's something that I'm compelled to do, and I think it's in my blood, but it's not a priority. I think it doesn't necessarily identify who I am as a Cuban musician. I can have elements of it or not, and that still doesn't change my identity. So that's how I feel about it right now.
Zahili.
Maestro.
Who's coming?
To,
oh, Marco.
Yeah, Marco.
Go ahead.
And,
Go ahead.
We have Lihi. Okay. Nadia, go ahead.
Zahili. Hi. Congratulations. And I'm so delighted that we heard a more organic extension of who you are in one of those pieces. And you know what I'm talking about, right? Your voice. Your voice. Now, I'd love to know how you felt in this instant, hearing yourself right then and there.
Pretty good.
Good. Thank you.
Pretty good.
I'm so glad. And I hope, I know, I'm so grateful that everything happens for a reason and everything turns out the way it's supposed to. Because, I know you asked me to do it, but the person that needed to do it, of course, was you, right? And I just hope that, because I know it's also a process, right? This is something that we have to just work at every day. And I hope to see you just fly even more when it comes to that extension, because I know you got some really serious happenings bubbling at the surface that will come. You know what I'm talking about, right? And I just want to say congratulations. It's just so beautiful. So much beauty, so much fire. Just so much elegance and excellence. And you are a beautiful role model, someone that I even look up to. Ah, yeah, what? Of course. And I just can't wait to see. And you know, of course, life, this time extends, or what this work does extends well past this moment and this time. But I just can't wait to see how this work, which is very personal and intrinsic, will shine through. And then one question I have for you is, has this work kind of altered the way you connect to your students?
Oh, yeah.
Can you maybe share a little bit about that?
Yeah, I would say by birth, maybe I am a person who has a tendency to be empathetic. So already I could empathize with some of my students who were going through something that I could say, that looks and sounds like what I have been through as well. But now that I have the tools, some of the cognitive exercises that I've seen and experienced, the level of depth in their practice, because everything is, as Bridget said, it's noise in your head, and you need to quiet those voices in order for you to be able to focus on the music. And once you focus on the music, then you have a clear mind to, what do I need to do here? What do I need to do there? And then everything else is human, but it takes a level of trusting oneself by quieting those voices. So I've been there for a good amount of students who have been through this, and it's taken a lot of conversation. Sometimes we don't even play, it's just talking, and that's the kind of support they need at the time. Yeah, I'm right now just using all the tools that I've presented here. Yeah.
Thank you. Lihi, you want to say something?
I have a question for Witness. Witness, how was the music?
Killing. Lihi, how was the music?
Incredible. Zahili, I just want to thank you for the bottom of my heart. I just want to sing your praise. I know there's more things to say, so I'll keep it short. But as Patty says, I think you are amazing, incredible, and it's been so inspiring that somebody as accomplished as you are is also extremely open and really present to continue to learn and to grow. You are an inspiration, and just thank you for being here. And I'm looking forward to continue to work with you in other areas of our life.
Thank you. Maestro Peñataro.
It's my turn now. Zahili, in the history of Global, in the master from 2015, when we started the master, we had 3 Berklee faculty applying while teaching. One was Nadia, by the way, and you're the third one. Not a lot, right? And I start here because I want to praise the fact that you are a person that has a career, has a really demanding job here at Berklee, students that count on you, and you've been such an incredible student the whole year. And I want you to tell you that it's humbling to see, you know, because many students, you know, their excuse is like, I didn't wake up this morning because last night I was whatever, right? And your constant character, being so serious and so committed, and you never made anybody feel, hey guys, I'm a professor here, okay? And so I wanna start there, because I think that a lot of what we see today is your ability to stay this open this whole year and really be in input mode the whole time. I travel with you, I had you in class, and I can see this is really something that I really appreciate. just as I appreciate it with Nadia. She's, you know, and it's to me, in my position as managing director, that I see everything. I really see, you know, what you did in terms of your commitment and try to never had anybody telling you, hey, you know, and never use any excuse. I never heard you one time using an excuse for anything. And you didn't need to because you didn't have anything to be excused. So let's start there. In terms of this, I know that this has been, you know, a process for you because it's something very personal. Yeah. And the music, I mean, I don't have to tell you, but you see how everybody's reacting. And it's just incredible that, you know, and actually I'm not okay with the bio where you're like, a master of Latin jazz, so you have to change that, okay? It's just like, take Latin jazz for global jazz, you know, because you really are all over, you know. It's not, you're not in that box, so I would change that. So this is a PIN. In terms of the end, okay, I have something that I want to discuss with you because we talk about this in the pedagogy class, and it is implied in your presentation, but I feel that you have an opportunity to make maybe a stronger statement about this. And I'm not talking to you now as a student. I'm talking to you as a colleague, okay? Because you did not mention, I mean, you mentioned burden of expectation, okay? Now check it out. Burden of expectation, unrealistic expectation, constant judgment without support, competition. What does this sound like? A lot of music programs.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of music programs.
Yeah, thanks.
Now, this is very important, Zahili,
Yeah.
because we have students coming to our classroom and they're perfectly fine. And when they go out, they're not able to play anymore.
Yeah.
And I saw it and I see it every time.
Yeah.
So this has to be part of your narrative. Maybe you were lucky enough not to experience that in your, you know, you have maybe other reason why there, and I love how you present it. But I feel like in this school and in every music school, we need to talk about the damage that we sometimes do to our students.
Yeah.
And I think this is very important.
Yeah.
Okay?
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
But congratulations, amazing. My student.
Zahili, yeah, it's right there with that name, Zahili, papata, papata, papata. But you're a triplet, that's right.
Yes.
Zahili, you know, one time you asked me, Prof, how you got so much energy? And I said, when I meet people like you, that's how we get energy. That's our duty to each other, right? And I'm thinking, you know, this journey that you went through, with this journey that you went through, I have no doubt that you possess the strength, the determination and courage to deal with any situations coming at you from here on. This is a new Zahili. It started from Friday with that diploma, with that Monster Master diploma. You are an example, very moving from all aspects. I loved the introduction. I felt like I was in a movie theater, like, okay, where is the popcorn? I'm gonna go. It really, you thought about this, you presented in such a way, inviting, you expose. I love what Marco just said, yeah, we are part of the problem many times. Yeah. As I was listening to you, I was thinking, something about that Wayne told us for 20 years. He said, the premise that all beings possess an innate capacity for wisdom and enlightenment, reason underlies the Buddhist thought. He always talked about that. He said it's about awakening the wisdom and enlightenment. That's our duty. The goal of teaching, therefore, is to arouse this innate potential. The goal of learning, to actualize that inherent wisdom, a wisdom characterized by an unattacked, unbound, liberated mind and a compassionate regard for all those lives that we have around us. And you are just walking. You are a walking example of that. Our aim is to animate the wisdom and nurture the seeds of compassion in each individual. That's what I feel for. I learned so much from being around you. That piano is not allowed. That last take that you play, you and I are gonna have to be talking about, okay? You know, that's not fair. That was pretty mean. I have one question for you. After a year at Global, hearing all these crazy ideas about compromising and zero gravity and and the tetra course and the tetra world and this, what is jazz for you?
Ooh. Renewal. Coming, if I have to give you an image, I just feel like I am seeing myself in the mirror and saying, I love you.
You did. Congratulations.
Zahili! Zahili. Yes. Congratulations.
Thank you. Woo!